Licensing cannot be required for free people because taking on restrictions of a license requires the surrender of your rights.
Welcome back to the channel, Reasonable Search, where I analyze police interactions with the public. If you like this type of content, hit the subscribe, share, and like this video. Today, Frank Barris, a sovereign citizen from Wyoming, is back. Barris was hailed as a hero for his interaction with Highway Patrol, Wyoming Highway Patrol, because he didn't want to be held accountable for the rules of the road.
We're going to have a gunfight on the side of the road is what we're going to have.
You do not need to have a gunfight.
Well, then you better start listening to sense.
Barris was later arrested for his interaction stemming from this traffic stop with Wyoming Highway Patrol. You'll often hear Frank Barris mention David Straight, the guru sovereign citizen instructor that teaches everybody how to fight these tickets and sells the license plates and all the sovereign teachings that go on in their community. Well, recently, David Straight was just arrested in Texas just earlier this week. David Straight was arrested Monday in Texas for driving without a license and not properly displaying license plates. Interesting. The person who teaches people not to be arrested and jailed with all the sovereign script finds himself, along with his wife, arrested and jailed in Texas. So we'll see how that's going to work out for them. Not the best track record when it comes to their legal expertise. But nevertheless, in today's video, Barris is giving advice on how to fight a traffic ticket.
Licensing cannot be required for free people because taking on restrictions of a license requires the surrender of your rights. The driver's license can be required of people who are in the use of highways for trade or commerce or for hire. That is, if they earn their living on the road or earn any money on the road. And if they use extraordinary machines on the road. In other words, heavy equipment, diesel rigs, etc. If you are not using the highways for profit, you cannot be required to have a driver license. It's that simple. We have the right to travel freely down the public thoroughfares provided to us by our servants. What's happened is we have all forgot we are the boss and they are our servants. Amendment 10. Okay, so now that's that. And then I was going to share.
One thing that you'll find with Barris and the guru Straight, David Straight, is that they read excerpts from different cases, but they never cite from where or which case they're citing from. And they also misinterpret the cases in general. Of course, the right to travel, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness can't be taken away without due process. And the case that the sovereigns love to excerpt, one of them is, of course, Thompson versus Smith. And what they end up doing is you see all the case text here, but they end up just taking one little excerpt from here, and it's this paragraph right here. And so it's the right of the citizen to travel right here. So they love this paragraph right here, and this is where they love to stay when on this entire case here is the right of the citizen to travel upon our public highways and transport his property therein. His ordinary course of life in the business is a common right, which he has under his right to enjoy life, liberty, and acquire, possess property, and to pursue happiness. And on here, and it includes the right in doing so in the ordinary and usual conveyances of the day, even horse-drawn carriages. This is not a mere privilege, like the privilege of moving a house in the street, operating a business stand in the street, okay, or transporting persons in the property of hire. So they love to excerpt this part, but then they also forget that this case is actually, right, this case is about Thompson being denied his right to travel because they denied him a driver's license without due process. It was arbitrary, right? So the court recognizes right here, okay, if you read this lengthy, case here, the court recognizes the right of the city to regulate the interests of the public safety. You'll find no court case where a court has ruled that state licenses, driver's licenses, are unconstitutional. If that were true, the Department of Motor Vehicles would be changed to perhaps maybe the Department of Commercial Vehicles.
back on, February something. And anyway, he wrote the same shit, no driver license, insurance, registration, all that. So anyways, I just told him, write me some fraudulent contracts and I'll rescind them in 72 hours. So I want to go over this 72-hour right of rescission. And basically what that is now I lost my... Okay, now this here is called the 72-hour right to rescission. Now, even a U.S. citizen can do this. Someone that hasn't taken back their natural birth rights yet and have become sovereign with the status and standing that I have and other American state nationals and secured party creditors, etc. This works because this is one of their own U.S. codes. And that's the trick here. We got to use their own corporate codes, their corporate bylaws against them. Okay? So all you do, you get your, they literally print them out in a car now. So it's hilarious. And you never see protect and serve on a car anymore, do you? But anyways, so what you do is you get your fraudulent contract, whether you're a sovereign or if you're a U.S. citizen, and you take a red Sharpie and try to get a fine point one. And what you do is you take it and in a 45-degree angle, you write 72-hour right to rescission. Your offer to contract is not accepted. You are operating under USC Title 18, Section 242 and 241, conspiracy to deprive me of my rights under the color of law. I am a living man. I am the beneficiary of the living trust. I do not consent to contract or joinder, and waive the benefits and offer. Administrator judge, were you administering my trust without my consent? I do not consent to contract or joinder and waive the benefits and offer retroactively. So when I got mine, I didn't even write all that on there. Mine was just short and sweet. Your offer to contract is not accepted by 18 USC 240, Section 241 and 242. By, that's called a byline. Date and time it. That's it. Write them on there. Within 72 hours, you go take it to the circuit clerk, get copies made. They don't know what the hell you're doing, but you need to educate them. And it's like David Straight always says, we need to learn how to correct their errors. And once you start correcting their errors and trying to educate these indoctrinated minions, things will start happening for you. So I was supposed to be in court, I think, on the 7th of March. And I checked last week. Just to make sure that everything went through.
So here, Barris believes that you can rescind a violation of state law with United States code. Okay. His guru, sovereign teacher, David Straight, also believes this. He took this verbiage from him. The U.S. Constitution is very specific in the authority that the federal government has. When it comes to roads, their purview, the federal government is only has authority over interstate commerce. The federal government has no authority on state roads unless the supremacy clause kicks in. Okay. And at that time, right? So when we look at the supremacy clause, if constitutional rights, right, it prohibits the states from interfering with federal government's exercise of constitutional powers. So if the state was denying someone's ability to travel, it would be because, like in Thompson versus Smith, they denied him a driver's license without due process. And therefore, they would be infringing on the right to travel. This is not the case when it comes to the states regulating the roads and stopping Barris for speeding.
And as of 3/31/23, I went through the Natrona County warrant search, and there's no warrants out on me. So this stuff is real and it works, okay? And even U.S. citizens that haven't done all the paperwork, which is hard, okay? It's not easy. David Straight's got a lot of good tips on there. And then, like I talked earlier on the other video about getting your birth certificate authenticated. Well, it's actually a duly authenticated birth certificate, and that takes weeks and weeks. When I did it back before, there wasn't even 1 million of us back then. Now there's like 22 million American state nationals. I don't even have a clue how long it'll take to get an authenticated birth certificate done. But anyways, just to show that, it works.
Again, he mentions the guru David Straight, who appears to be in the middle of his own legal battles. We'll wait and see how Straight's Texas cases turn out. Barrett believes that his tickets went away with that mumbo jumbo, that legal wrangling of rescinding And I do not contract with you as if those magic words were going to make his legal issues in his legal case in Wyoming disappear. Now, I definitely wouldn't recommend believing that your case is gone unless you have some sort of adjudication result from the court. Definitely not giving you legal advice here, and I'm not an attorney, but I will advise you to get and maintain your driver's license. Thanks for watching, and I look forward to reading your comments in the section below. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this video. See you next time, and be safe out there.